and they're like, oh, you know, you should trust the government. Oh, the same people who approved cigarettes to be healthy years ago, and the ones who keep putting poisonous ingredients in the food. Like, and listen, I'm not saying I don't eat them sometimes, but what I'm saying is that if you want me to trust them, give me something to trust them for.
Yeah.
Because all I'm seeing now is no,
that's it.
A big red fucking X. That's what I'm seeing, and that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I've been shadow banned, and obviously I've got quite a few followers on Instagram, and that doesn't make any difference. I've been shadow banned loads of times, and I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll just keep saying what I'm saying. If they take it down, if they get barred or whatever, I really don't care, because what I'm saying is my truth and what I feel like I can see, and what a lot of people like yourself, it's mad that we've been mates and we never spoke about this years ago.
No.
But we've always had that little woke thing, and you know.
That's it. Today, an old friend. I was thinking about this the other day. It's been nearly 10 years since we've met. We did a little bit of a podcast outside in the sun before we actually come on. But
we had to stop talking, didn't we?
Oh no, yeah. Like, shut up. Yeah, old friend Craig Cavanagh. He's come on today, and we're having a little catch up, and then we're going to go into conspiracy.
Oh, my favourite subject.
So, start us off. I always like to start at the beginning. Who are you? Where'd you come from?
Craig Cavanagh, as you know. Now from Walton, touching on 36 this year, so yeah.
You're the same age as me, aren't you?
I know.
Getting old now.
I always say I'm a cougar now. I've got to look after myself, haven't I? But yeah, currently I'm a bar manager in Ink, which is a nightclub in Liverpool, and I've got my fingers in a couple of pies. Heavily into my fitness at the minute, and that's about it up to now. That's what I've got on my plate. I'm just waiting for everything to be open and these restrictions to lift, so we can actually like touch people without getting shouted at. Oh, that sounded really wrong. I'm just gonna blend over that and say, how are you
anyway? So we met. I was obviously got out the military. I moved to France. I come back. I was in a bad place, and I moved to Walton. And you were currently working in the bar down the road,
the Breeze.
And come in and got talking, and we become friends from there. Then we went from there. Like,
do you remember you knocked down my brick wall in my yard for me?
I did, didn't I? Yeah. And what did you make me to eat?
It was
pasta,
chicken pesto pasta.
That was the one. Think. Absolutely lovely.
I'm a sick cook. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember because you get yeah, because she said, "Can you do me a favour? Can you knock a wall down for me?" Yeah. I come around with a sledgehammer and started knocking this shed to bits. This old shed in the middle of Walton. It was next door but one to the Breeze, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I tried to find the picture. I had a picture. It was on my old iPhone. I didn't have time to charge it. It became holy.
A picture of me?
I had a picture of you knocking the wall down. I was trying to find
shit.
But it was one of them, you know, like, I was going to say Nokia 10 then, but it wasn't. It was like an iPhone 2, where it was like that fat charger at the bottom, so I couldn't find one this morning, so I didn't plan ahead, obviously. So gutted. But yeah, the picture's still alive. I might just post it on your birthday.
Yeah, go on, just put it up there. Maybe get me PTSD. I'll take it out from this wall.
Here's Steve, walks through walls.
Yeah, I remember because Barney Rubble come and picked it up.
Yeah, he did.
Because he's related to you, isn't he? He's a friend of
a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so yeah, and then I left Walton. I went on my mission to into recovery, and you then moved away shortly after you moved away back into town, didn't you?
Yeah, that was my mission to recovery.
That's it. Yeah. Get away from the grind, and you started working in Ink straight away.
I did. Well, so obviously I had the Breeze pub, and as you know, my dad got sick. He had cancer, and we didn't want to carry the lease on, so I opened Facebook this day. I mean, no one uses. I keep saying this all the time, but no one uses Facebook anymore. Not anyone I know, anyway.
No.
And there was an advert saying Inkbar, and it was just the way it just popped up, and I was like, and it was like, what was the tagline for it? If these walls could talk, and it was a tattoo, the first tattoo bar in the whole of the UK.
Yeah. Which
you could get a tattoo in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a bit of me. So
you're like me, you're covered, aren't you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I always say that my mum was like, "Oh, why you get so many tattoos?" I was like, "Well, this is like it's like pimp my ride, so I'm like pimping my ride. This is my ride for the rest of my life, so I'm decorating it." So yeah. So anyway, so applies and you're like, "Come on down." Went down. I had a little chat with them. Like, "You've got the job." So you know, it was sort of like one of them. It's like a little fairy tale story, and I've been there ever since. I sort of haven't left. So it's been a long minute there, and it's like family there. I couldn't imagine my life to have changed the way it did. If it wasn't for that place and that. I mean, when my dad passed in 2016, they were there for me, and in a way that I probably wouldn't have survived. The way I have now and stuff, and because he got sick, that was when I put the weight on, and that sort of also pushed this whole transition, this movement of the new me.
Well, that's it, because I've seen all over Instagram, you're absolutely smashing the gym and you're getting stuck into it, and it's like, you did a comparison, I think it was a few weeks ago, and there's a picture of you when
I had the breeze. That was that picture with the skinhead.
That's it, yeah. Because that's when I met you. You had the shaved head and all that, and I walked in,
and the 10 bellies,
just rough ass here like that, and then
you turned out that I liked sausage.
Well, that's it. And I was like, it doesn't go any different here.
It is what it is. What can you do?
And then the next picture, you cut yourself up, and you change your life massively, and career wise and prospects. And it's like that's. And like I always say to all my guests, it's like when someone comes from a dark place and they recover, and they do it so like mostly on their own with a bit of guidance, it overwhelms me. It's beautiful to see, especially with a mate like yourself doing well. It makes me happy. You know what I mean?
But when when we actually got back in touch again, I was made up, because I used to think about you all the time, because we had some deep conversation. I mean, you were there when I went through that shit with that lad we won't mention, and he was in the closet, as you do, and it sort of like they fucked me up a little bit, and you were there for me, and I'll never forget that. So, when you got back, when you reached out again, I was like, "Oh my god, it's Nico." I was like, "Oh my god, I love him." So yeah, and here we are.
Well, that's it. Because another reason why I told you, another reason why I was bringing you on, because we had a bit of a fuck about fudge factor at the beginning, because we were booked in for like last year, and then I cancelled, then I changed it and cancelled. And with COVID,
you cancel?
Never. But with COVID, and then we lost family members, and it was just all up in the air. And I apologise for that. So
don't worry.
And you said, "Oh, do you want me to come on then?" Like that. I was like, "No, I want you to come on because when I was going through my really bad patch when I come back from France, you were there. You didn't realise it, but you being behind the bar, just talking to me, and you letting off your steam, and me like sort of like listening to you and helping maybe put my stuff into a comparison." And maybe think, you know what, everyone's going through shit. I'm not on my own here. There is other people going through a hard time. And that's when I started to think outside the box. Then
I remember some of the stuff you told me. Like, I think it sort of leveled me a bit as well, because when you tell someone your problems, obviously at that time it's the only thing in the world, because obviously in your head the world revolves around you to a certain degree. Yeah. And I remember you telling me some horror stories that you've been through, and I remember thinking, "Oh my god, Craig, shut the fuck up!" Like, I remember you telling me something, and it just shook me to the core. I'm not gonna lie, and I thought the enormity from what I'm going through to what you're going through, even though we're still going through something. Yeah, it just sort of it made me feel better that I was there for you, like, and I didn't realize that. And you know what's so funny? I always say this now, like, every day is a blessing, and there's things happen all the time, and you have blessings in life, your family, and the things. I'm not saying you take them for granted, but blessings will always come in life because you're still alive. You're blessed every day. I always think now, I appreciate the lessons more. Yeah, because the lessons we've spoke about this before. I've got a problem with authority figure, because since growing up, I've always questioned things, because if something doesn't make logical sense to me. And I like, sometimes I'll come across like I'm not intelligent because of the potty mouth, and I'm obviously from Liverpool and stuff, but I am quite intelligent, so I would never listen to authority figure unless you gave me solid proof. Like, when I was in school, this teacher said, she said there wasn't such thing as like I can't remember what it was now, like 3 houses in a row or something like that someone said, and there was 3 houses in a row on the Vale. So I was gonna say, so she was full of shit. So there's been loads of things at them instances. So I always appreciate the lessons more, because I find it hard to take advice from anyone. Even I was like that with my mum and dad, and
and
some of the advice now has turned out to be the best advice I ever got, but I never took it until later in life. But
when
so
I
almost appreciate lessons more than blessings.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they're what carve you out and.
Definitely.
And still make us.
You live in proof.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? Living proof. It's the journey.
As are you, mate. As are you.
That's it. But yeah, just going back, I just want to say, I remember when I got my first tattoo. This is going off subject. I can't remember if I told you. And I wanted a tattoo. I think I was 15, 16. And I said to my mum, I want to get a tattoo. And she goes, no, don't get a tattoo at Sky. No, it wasn't. I wanted to get my lip pierced. Because I was going through that stage.
Really?
Yeah. And I said, I want to get my lip pierced. And she goes, no, it'll Sky for life. Get a tattoo.
Wow. See, my mum was like, don't get any tattoos. And I was like, okay. And
my mum had them. So, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, well, my mum didn't.
So I remember we went to this dodgy back alley place in Birkenhead. You know what I mean? And there's some fella there called Pete. I don't know if he's still going. And he done me a big Grim Reaper. Top of my arm, like. And my mum goes, yeah, like that. And I was like, yeah, sound that. And then that was it. Then that was the itch. I was like,
and it keeps scratching.
But then because I went through a stage going through school of being laughed at because I was tall and I had skinny arms. All the other lads were starting to fill out, and nothing was happening for me. You know what I mean? My voice had gone when I was like 8. You know what I mean? But my arms weren't growing, so I went on a mission to cover my arms. So when people looked at my arms, they wouldn't see the skinny arms; they'd see the tattoos. And then all of a sudden, I went on the juice and got fucking huge, and then it didn't really matter anyway. You know what I mean? So
then you got swole.
And I got swole, and now I'm just like dad bod now. So
oh, shut up, you know.
I'm happy where I am now with me dad bod. So anyway, but yeah, you talk about authority and stuff like that. Well, the last time I seen you big on Instagram was with the protests and the marches in town.
Yeah.
With what's his name now? He was organising it. He organises events and stuff like that.
Oh, you mean it's like Save Our City, Mark?
That's it. Yeah.
Cool guy, by the way. I really like him.
Yeah.
Really nice guy.
Because then you stood up and you spoke on the mic. And I seen you before. I seen you stand there and you're like, I thought, and you did it though. You know what I mean? I was like,
that
go
ahead. That was the first time I've been in front of like over 1,000 people in maybe 8. Because I sang at Gay Pride in 2013. And
was that Green Eyed?
Yeah. That was me. Yeah. And so I'd done that. That was a couple of thousand people, and I was dressed as Mr. Incredible, which was another funny story because Mr. Incredible, and then ends up being Mr. Ink, which is weird. But anyway, so that was the first time I'd been in front of that many people, but I felt so passionately about it. And I mean, we're going to go into these subjects soon, but I just feel like no one's speaking up from hospitality, and for me, hospitality is. It's sort of for me it's what bridges Scousers and my way people bridges Scousers to other people from other cities. Just for one point, by the way.
Yeah.
Because people come back to Liverpool because of the way they get treated and because of the way we act with because the way we're very hospitable and we make people have a laugh.
Didn't we win an award last year for the most nicest people or something like that? Most nicest city or something like that.
I mean, I think we've crowned ourselves with that since the beginning of time. But I think so. But yeah, so I done that, and I did get up there, and I was about to lose it, and then I just thought, fuck it. We're all locked down. What can go wrong anyway? I mean, besides me coming down these steps and getting arrested, what can go wrong?
Yeah, that's it.
And touch wood, nothing like that happens. But yeah, so I done that, and it was a good movement. I done all the marches as well.
Yeah.
And I just feel like what they were preaching, I was singing. I was on that same hymn sheet, so that's why I done it.
Because a lot of people were fighting for the gyms to stay open, and with Nick is Whitcomb, Nick, Capo, whatever. Everyone was fighting for the gyms and stuff like that, but no one was shouting for the restaurants and stuff like that. It's like even now, it's like you can go to a pub and sit outside, spaced out. You can't go inside. You can't go to a restaurant, which. No, I think it's ridiculous. Like just after the first lockdown,
but you can go to Primark and touch a load of clothes, and then someone can touch the same clothes.
Exactly, yeah. But then I seen something on Facebook last night, and it was on Scouse Scene, and there was a rave going on in town down the docks, and it was literally crammed, and like, well, hang on. So you can't do that, but then there's people out there. I've got a mate, Dave Critchley. He's got Leuven restaurants down in L8, and a Chinese restaurant. He's built it from scratch. He's worked his ass off on it. He's a master chef and all that. You know what I mean? And he can't open. You know what I mean? You can't open till a certain date, but yet all these other pubs and stuff are all open serving food. Like, it's like an opposite from what happened the first time. After the first lockdown, it was like, you can't go to the pub, but you can go and get food and then buy drinks.
They were saying eat out to stay out, and then they went, oh, the numbers have gone up. Well, you told us to eat out and stay out.
And then they turned around as well and he said, essential travel only, but 50% off if you go and sit in Mackey's. And like, what? And then KFC did the same thing. Like, fuck off, mate.
I mean, if you step outside the box and look at the fact that we've got this tatty-headed helmet running the country, you don't need to say any more. I'll just drop the mic and I'll just sit back and say, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Bear in mind, this is my first strike on YouTube, by the way, when this goes out.
Is it? Let's make it too. So, I mean, that's where shall I stop?
Just keep going, man. Keep going.
And then
rabbit hole's open.
So I'm in it. I'm in it deep now. And they're like, oh, you know, you should trust the government. Oh, the same people who approved cigarettes to be healthy years ago, and the ones who keep putting poisonous ingredients in the food. Like, and listen, I'm not saying I don't eat them sometimes, but what I'm saying is that if you want me to trust them, give me something to trust them for. Yeah. Because all I'm seeing now is no,
that's it.
A big red fucking X. That's what I'm seeing, and that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna do my thing and I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I've been shadow banned, and obviously I've got quite a few followers on Instagram, and that doesn't make any difference. I've been shadow banned loads of times, and I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll just keep saying what I'm saying. If they take it down, if they get barred or whatever, I really don't care, because what I'm saying is my truth and what I feel like I can see, and what a lot of people like yourself, it's mad that we've been mates and we never spoke about this years ago.
No.
But we've always had that little woke thing, and you know.
That's it. I was just, like we were saying outside then, I remember when I was, my last year at the army, I was sat there in the guard room and I watched a program on my laptop, and it's called Zgeist, if I'm saying it right. And we were saying outside, and it talks about the origins of religion, the plans and money, and the debt on money and stuff like that. And I sat there watching it. I was going, this can't be true. And then he brought a second and a third one out. I was like, fucking hell. So I had my mind open then a little bit, and I wasn't like yourself. I wasn't like right into it, but I was like listening. You know what I mean? And then I don't want to go into it because it's something that really fucking winds me up with the whole Hollywood and Pizzagate thing. You know what I mean?
Makes me sick.
But I started looking into that, and then I got to the point where I went into the rabbit hole that deep and that much, it was affecting my life. Where I started to question myself, going, am I fucking nuts here? Am I absolutely crazy?
I've done the same thing.
And I was looking at other people and they're going, yeah, you're nuts like that. And then every now and again someone would walk past and go, I'm the same, I think that. But then I was looking into like stuff like Satanism and like sacrifice, and that's how bad I went into it. And I was like, and it's that point that like my missus turned around and she goes, enough's enough. You're going too far a bit. And I literally walked away. I went, no. I started like blank myself off and lived my life. And then obviously we had our family and stuff like that.
And then you start with.
And then this COVID, well, yeah, because of that. And then COVID kicked in. And then there's the fear mongering stage of it. And at first I was like, I don't believe in COVID. Don't believe in COVID. I believe that COVID is a form of flu. There is a form of flu going on.
You just took the word out of my mouth.
It is a form of flu. And it's a strong form of flu, and it does bring on secondary pneumonia because you know, family have had it and stuff like that. But the whole media side of it, that's the bit, that's the scary bit. It's not the getting COVID. It's the actual scary bit is the media.
Now the flu's gone. After 110 years, the flu's gone down to 6% last year. No. Something's. It's like a rebrand, maybe, or they're mistaking the flu for this new strain. Yeah, maybe that's what's going on. But they didn't stop the world then.
No.
Why are they stopping?
Exactly. Spanish flu and all that.
They just carried on.
Just carried on as normal. And that's why I said from the beginning, we need to carry on. Yes, there will be deaths, but then the immunity will take over. I know a
handful of people who've killed themselves in the past year, so is that it? And there's probably hundreds of thousands across this country alone. So you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul in that sort of analogy aspect, and no, it just doesn't work.
Well, that's the thing. They built all the hospitals, the 3 big hospitals in the UK, and I didn't see anyone go in them.
No,
like I had mates in the army, military, that were going down there and like helping build them up and doing this, and then next minute nothing happened.
Fucking dust balls going.
But then the COVID centres all come up and then they all drop back down, and And then now they're going, oh yeah, they're like in a massive puffing fucking fresh air in midair, and then we're all allowed out again. It's all right, it's gone now. Because the elderly have had the jabs. But hang on, it's the young ones that are out more. It's the young ones that are interacting more. So where they go, if it is, like, I don't believe in vaccinations, and that's going to kick off a shitstorm on here.
And I don't care, but neither do I. And do you know what? I think that's what your immune system's for.
Yeah.
And if your immune system's not working, you need to put the right things in your body to make it work. And that's
unless
where my
you're
head's
medically
at.
ill, then you need to have something to boost it.
Yeah.
And I believe that the elderly, the elderly's immune system is dropping down. It's struggling a little bit. Maybe it could help them, but I'm no doctor, no scientist. But when it comes down to a young male, young female that have, like, from a child, have like been eating more than done this, and I've had all these coughs and colds and stuff like that, and then like, it's like my daughter, she's constantly getting a cough or a cold. That's because her immune system's getting stronger, and it's learned to beat.
That's how it becomes stronger.
That's
what you got told when you were a kid. Yeah, you've got to get sick. Then you have
these sprays, which kills 99.9% thing. Yeah, I believe in having a clean house and a clean kitchen.
It's doing it for you though. If
you're wiping it out, your children aren't getting stronger. Exactly. They're not getting challenged. It's like your comfort zone. To become better at something, you've got to step out that comfort zone. So, like, for a boxer, he's got to get beat and beat and beat in sparring. You train hard, fight easy. You've got to be beaten to be a better person.
Exactly.
Same as you go into a bar. When you walked behind that bar the very first time, you probably like that. Oh, and then now you're running the show. Yeah. And it's like when I come to this podcast, when I first doing it, I was like, that was CBD going, fucking shitting dog, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now I'm fucking, I just don't show it, you know what I mean? I'm still fucking breaking it, but I just don't show it, you know what I mean? But you've got to test, your body needs to be tested to become better. And it's exactly the same with what I believe, it's exactly the same with your immune system. But I had Dr. Husband on here, and he obviously he's a medical professional, he's a GP.
I watch him, I like him.
He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
He's a good one.
So, I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to talk about stuff too much because I didn't want to put him in a position, because obviously he's a medical professional. That's his life, that's his role. And I didn't want to challenge him and put him in a position where it could, you know what I mean, cause any trouble or problems. So he talked about vaccinations, and he in his words, he goes, they are what they are. You know what I mean? He didn't want to go into it too much, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts on it? Obviously, if I believe that if you're going to roll them out, they should have been the younger generation first. If it was that important, instead they've gone for the elderly. Like, in my eyes, and this is going to make a lot of people go, what the fuck?
Are they trying to kill them off?
Are they wipe out the elderly? Like, you're injecting the elderly that are already old and immune systems are low. Will that start to bring in more deaths? Because my dad works, he's a manager in a crematorium, and he said the deaths are starting to creep up. The funerals are starting to pop up.
Of course they are.
Starting to climb. So is that because, and they're all elder people, you mean? So is that because they're all getting jabbed? Like the flu jab? The flu jab come in and the death toll went up, you know what I mean?
Well, I follow a guy I've known for a couple of years now, Garnett. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a good
UFC.
He's a really good guy. I like Dean. I done the marches with Dean, and we were all, anyway. So
but he backs everything up.
Yeah,
with facts,
listen,
you know?
so he sent me. I always watch it. If you're gonna watch anyone's story on Instagram, watch his, because he's so informed choice. Like, he'll put facts up. So he'll, like, the things you don't see in the media, like the little news stories that'll get put up, but they don't get, because the censorship and all that bullshit. He puts them all on his story, and it's like people who are like, oh, they died, and then in the small print it'll say they had the vaccine 45 days before, or whatever, blah blah blah. So I'm a honest believer that you don't know what the fuck you're putting in your body with them.
No.
From the knowledge that I've had in these 30 odd years, is that if a vaccine is made, it needs at least 5 to 10 years before it can be approved, due to the fact that you don't know the long-term effects of it. So everyone's calling this the Holy Grail, and anyone who gets it, honestly, that's your choice. And this is what I'm about. Your own choice. Like, we should have had the choice to be locked down or not. Do you want to get locked down, or do you want to go out and risk it? I would have went out and risked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know.
Quarantine is lockdown for sick people.
Very, very Nazi orientated as well. What happened?
Quarantine means
I didn't like it.
Locking down sick people.
Exactly.
We're not sick.
No. And I know prevention is the best whatever that saying is, but not that type of prevention. They kept us in from sunlight. Sunlight is the what you get from sunlight is one of the best. Is one of the best things for your immune system and the longevity of your actual life. So they told us to stay in, go out for an hour a day. Nice one for that. Can't go to the shops, can't do this, you can't do that, or you can only go if this or that. There were so many rules and regulations. I know we'd have all just said no. What would they have done? Exactly. They tried to do it with the bird flu, the swine flu, the SARS. Every couple of years they've tried to make us do it, and no one's really conformed. They sort of just blanked it out. Yeah. So I don't know why this time it was so different. So back to the vaccine thing. Sorry, I do have a tendency to go all the way around the world. I like to give me opinion of why I get to this opinion. So, when people are getting the vaccine now, it says that you'll get within the first 45 days, you'll get that's when you'll know the reaction or the after effect, blah blah blah, or any what's the word? It's the
effects.
Side effects. Sorry, couldn't even say that then. And most of these people that I've seen, just on Dean's thing alone, people who've passed away, it's been within like 30 to 45 days of having it. So my answer to you, anyone who gets it, that's up to them, and that's also on them. Me personally, I know what the ingredients. There's metals in there.
Mercury and that.
Mercury and aluminium. Couldn't even say that. Then either. What's wrong with me? They stay in your brain for at least 10 years. Yeah. And when you give them to a kid, and they come with, because my brother had the vaccines and he was never the same after it. And obviously I'm not going to discuss his thingy, but they stay in your brain for 10 years or 5 to 10 years, and it takes a while for them to come out. And the damage they do to a young mind that's undeveloped. So no, I don't think they should get them. And then if you're mid-age, it'll give it. God knows what it does to you. If you're old age, it's going to finish it off. Yeah, that's just my opinion, by the way. I'm not medically trained, but I am a researcher like yourself. Yeah. So I will go off fact that I read and not from, as I say, the higher powers who, to me, don't really look like they know what they're doing. Yeah. And I'd love to see the credentials on paper to why they're there and doing that job. And well, the whole Bill Gates thing as well, that really pisses me off, because we're all taking this jab off this fella who is
but he can't prevent viruses on a computer, let alone a human body. You know
I feel like that clap you done at the start, I feel like I should do it now. That's exactly where I'm at.
But the thing is, they turn around and they say to pregnant women, don't eat tuna. Don't eat tuna out of a can. Don't eat tuna more than once in a week. And you go, why? Because it's full of mercury. It can harm the baby. But then it's been proven that is it 6 or 7 times more mercury in an injection in a vaccine than there is in, and it's same as the injections you give the baby as soon as it's born, and to the mum when, you know, before the birth and after the birth. It's like, it's full of mercury. So why can't you eat it? But then, like, it's like, this is going to sound really weird, but it's like, do you want the baby to be born, but then so you can get the vaccines in? You know what I mean? It's I don't know.
Do you know that I think it's called the pineal? I can't say it properly. The pineal gland. Yeah. Apparently, the mercury and a lot of things. Yeah, it calcifies the pineal gland, and the pineal gland is what gives you your intuition. Makes your mind work. It's what gives us the connection to whatever is I mean, I don't know if you're religious or not. I believe in something. I don't know. I believe that something's put it here. I don't reckon with this mistake that happened from an asteroid, and then a jellyfish jumped out the ocean and had sex with something and it became like a half human monkey. I don't believe in any of that. We're too special. We're too special as the way we're made. You couldn't just. That's not an accident. No. So, your pineal gland is sort of what keeps you in touch with being human, and if that's calcified, then you sort of cut off from everything.
It's being lethargic, isn't it? So
that's my opinion anyway.
I did it a while ago, and I ate really clean, really healthy, like really clean, and it's more veg diet, and every day after work, I always felt more alive, more awake, and I was more conscious and
awake. The word awake as well.
Even driving home, I was more. My peripheral vision was more open. I was like more alert, you know what I mean? And then I spent a week eating cakes and fucking chilling it and just bend it off and that shit. I did this on purpose. And it got to the point where I was in work, the first 2 hours of work, I was like, oh, and things were happening around me, and I wasn't onto it. And I tried, I've done that several times, and it's had the same effect every single time. And people go, oh, it's because you're eating shit, your body's lethargic. No, because it's my actual alertness and stuff like that as well, you know what I mean? Right down to what you're putting in your body, to sleep patterns and stuff like that. Obviously, it's your third eye, you don't know it's working, but I've been more alert and more awake when I've ate clean and I haven't had frozen food, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So eating like more fresh foods and more raw foods, like even like me meat, like cutting the meat down and but only having certain amounts, it makes a huge difference on your life.
I've done the same. I love, don't get me wrong, I love meat, obviously, but I didn't mean it like that. But anyway, I went pescatarian for about a month, and I felt.
Is that just eating fish?
Just fish,
yeah.
And it did make a huge difference. I don't know, your skin glows a different way because of the oils and the things. So I do eat more fish now, but I just don't think I could give up chicken. I could probably live without red meat.
Really?
Probably, yeah, because I put enough of veg and stuff in, so I could probably get the iron.
I'm going to Joe Rogan here. I did carnivore for 6 weeks, and it was the best diet I've ever done. And I don't believe in fad diets. I don't believe in this. I believe in having a well balanced diet. Like no carbs after a certain time, doing this, doing that. You know, with
I have
water.
a cheat day where I eat whatever I want.
Yeah, but then because your body's set in that mode, when you have that cheap meal, it just scraps it anyway. You know what I mean? But I did the carnivore diet, and it was just red meat and pork belly. So it was no carbs. I was having 2 meals a day. And I was fasting for 16 hours.
Is it like the Atkins is similar?
Similar, but so basically my last meal was at 6, 7 o'clock at night, and that consisted of steak, sausages. The only other thing I had was eggs. I had eggs as well, pork belly, and then I wouldn't eat them till
pork belly. It always makes me laugh when people say that.
Just a little lump of fat, you know what I mean? And then come the next day at 12 o'clock, the only thing I'd have was water and coffee, but I'd have coffee black, no dairy, and that's another thing. And then I'd have a similar meal, but a little bit bigger. And I found that my energy levels went up, but they didn't do that. They just plateaued because the carbs do that. Well, fat just stays. It just burns gradual. You know what I mean? And literally within 6 weeks, I cut off 18 pounds, and literally my body went. I was training 4 or 5 times a week, but my body went like concrete, and I felt alive. Like at the end of every shift, 10-hour shift in work, I was just like ready to go. You know what I mean? And I'll get home and I smash the gym, and I just eat loads of meat, and I was just like proper caveman. But
people say that like carbs give you more energy, and when I have them, I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or
I
can't drink. I love like Desperados. Love them because it's got tequila in.
Yeah.
But whenever I drink them, I always feel like I'm pregnant afterwards, and I want to go to sleep.
Really?
I always just feel like dead sluggish and like I need a nap. But with that beer or carbs, it always makes me feel like I haven't got energy. So
if I have Stella, like last night, I had like 5 or 6 bottles of Stella, and I was just on the couch like that. If I have Desperado, I'm up like, I don't know.
Talking of, I brought you a present anyway.
Ah, look at that. Bit of Spice Gold.
You know that.
With any glasses? Thank you very much.
You're
That's
very welcome.
Thank you. I love that. I love the spiced. Love rum. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much. That's nice. That I'll make sure that's gone tonight.
Yeah, make sure you do. But can I just touch on what you just said then about dairy? Where do you stand with cow's milk?
No.
Good lad.
Good lad. There's gonna be so many. I'm gonna lose so many subscribers here. Fucking.
Well, it's meant for cows, and it's full of antibiotics.
It's
so
to make a small calf
anyway.
turn to a 2-ton fucking animal in the space of a couple of weeks. The shit in it that you put into, like my daughter. I don't talk about my daughter much on here, but about her life and that. But my daughter, she can't have cow's milk. She never has. Since she had her vaccines, that's when she started suffering with different things, with reflux and the cow's milk allergy and stuff like that. And we had to get special milk for her because her body can't have the protein. It's the protein in the milk.
Yeah.
So unless she has it baked or boiled or heated up, so the proteins break down, her stomach, she can't take the enzymes in her stomach.
Vaccines.
So it could be vaccines, or it could be down to the human body just shouldn't have it. Because whenever I have milk, if I have a high dairy diet, as in with protein shakes and stuff like that, I swell in the wrong places. Inflamed here, and I just feel groggy and miserable. And like, but when I cut that out, like yogurt and all that stuff, like we all love stuff like that. But when you cut it out and you have like my baby has oat milk.
Yeah, I have almonds. Or
Yeah. And it tastes like fucking cardboard. I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't do it. I hate the stuff. She loves it, you mean, but that's what she's used to.
Yeah.
And she's no different to any other child. She's big, she's strong, she's alert, she's bang, 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 you know what I mean? So, I can't, like I said, I can't drink it. It's like fucking wet cardboard, but I just have it black, or sometimes I will have milk, you know what I mean? But once I don't have milk for about 2 weeks, my body feels lighter, if that makes sense. My digestive system's a lot more smoother, you know what I mean? I'm not on the bog screaming my eyes out, you know what I mean? And,
what a lovely image.
But then, like, I've heard so many other people that their children are exactly the same. They can't have dairy, and that tells me that it's something that it's the human body should be taking.
It's full of shit, and it's meant for a cow.
But then doctors are like, make sure you're on milk, make sure, and they push it. I mean, and like the health advisors or whatever they call that come round, they're always like, yeah, make sure she's on milk. Is she on milk? Yeah, push her on milk. Give her a bottle of milk like that. You know what I mean? You're like, she doesn't want it. It's making her sick. And then they go, put on the milk ladder, and then take a little bit here, have a little bit there, and build it up. Like, that's obviously going to make her used to it, because the human body isn't meant to consume alcohol, because it fucks you up. It destroys your liver and kidneys. But if you drink a little bit of it, your bladder, you fall about. The next day, you have a little bit more, a little bit more. And then next minute, you're in my stage where you can drink that and go sound. You know what I mean? That's not because alcoholic, but whatever. That's not because my body's able to take it. It's just it's used to being pounded.
That's what I say about allergies. You know, if they reckon if you put a tiny bit of if someone's got an allergy, so if you put a tiny bit in their diet or in their lifestyle every day for about, I don't know whether it's 60 days or maybe a bit longer.
Yeah.
The allergy goes, because I mean, it's got to be like the tiniest bit. It's got to be well controlled. But that's what whoever they are, they reckon. But on the World Health Organization. Have you seen the picture of them? Some, like, most of them are like obese. Some of them look like they're on death's door.
Oh well, the staff.
They're
in rag. They're in a bad way. Yeah.
It makes me, so when you just brought that up, it always makes me laugh, because someone put like a meme up saying these are the people who run the World Health Organization or something like that. And I looked and I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Sometimes I'll always look to, like, I'll follow the money trail.
Yeah.
So I'll follow it back and see who's saying it.
Yeah.
And then I'll make the judgment, and I'll be like,
Well, that's me. You'll have someone sat there like massive, and they're going, right, you're gonna you're overweight. I remember when I was in Jaguar, I was working there, and they brought us in to do a health check and diabetes check and all that. And at the time, I was full of juice. I was big, you know what I mean? I was about what at the time? About 16.5, 17 stone, but I was in good nick. I was healthy, I was strong, apart from taking that. You know what I mean? And then she sat there and she's like, bear in mind, I'm not gonna slag the girl off, but she was overweight. You know what I mean? She was whatever. But she's like, literally, she sat there after doing the blood test and then the weight and my waist, and she goes, yeah, you're clinically obese. I'm like, what? She goes, I'm going to give you this little tracker, and it's going to get your steps in, so you need to start. And I was literally sat there, bursting out of a polo shirt. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, what do you want me to do? And she goes, just try and get more steps in. Try and do 10,000 steps a day. I'm like, got the BMI of like 10%.
But,
you know what I mean?
So someone's giving you that advice, and did she know that, like, muscle weighs more than fat? So
she sat there, she had a meal deal on the side. I was like, all right.
Sitting there eating Monster Munch and telling you you're overweight. It's hysterical.
Kind of Monster, like, all right, yeah.
And listen, you know me, how I lost my weight and things like that. I stripped all the fat and then built myself back up. I should have probably just used the fat that was there, and it probably would have took me, like, it would have happened a lot quicker. But anyway, I didn't cut everything out. I weaned myself off the Indians, and I weaned myself off the chocolate, weaned myself off backwards slowly.
Yeah.
Still kept a bit of it in, like literally a tiniest bit of it in, and then built myself back up. And now I do everything in moderation when it comes to food. I wish I could say the same about alcohol, but that's another story. But yeah, so you've just, as long as you do everything in moderation, you're actually all right. And I used to hate that saying.
Yeah.
But that's how I sort of lost my weight. Now if I feel like something, I can eat it, because I'm that active and constant.
Yeah.
And even at 35, I'm actually not doing too bad in that side of it. But yeah, so I mean,
people sit there about Diet Coke as well, like all these fucking online PTs and shit, and they go, oh, Diet Coke, don't drink Diet Coke, it's full of this, it's full of that, it's bad for you, blah blah. But the thing is, if you're drinking 4 or 5 cans of full fat Coke every day and you swap that for Diet Coke, there's going to be an impact on your body. You're going to lose weight. I know it's full of aspartame and all that.
So is pre-workout, and so is most protein shakes. So the same people are telling you not to do this, do that. This is for your health. Eat this, don't eat that. You're telling me to not. That's the same. It's the same ingredient.
But then you give me a brand to get or a website to go on and buy protein and stuff like that. Yeah, we've all taken protein. We all take stuff like that. I've gone off it over the recent years. Like I touch on it now and again, but stuff like pre-workouts and stuff like that. I've touched it for about 2 years now. I used to take one called White Flood when I was serving, and I was taking it. And bear in mind, I'm serving soldier and all that. And I was taking it every day, and I was training and doing this and that. And I was a fucking animal, you know what I mean? And then when I looked on the back of it, it had white tea extract in it, which apparently it's like whiz.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I remember one day, I looked at it, I went, nah, I can't be right there. And you, as a young lad, you go, fuck it. So you carry on training with it. And then one day, I did a set. I was on the pull down, and I had to lie down in the gym. And I had to like forcibly lie on my side. I couldn't breathe.
The recovery position.
I put myself in the recovery position. I said, I had to do it myself. And I was in fucking dog state, mate. I was in a bad way. And I stopped it after that. But then you got all these ones, fucking slagging companies off it, like Jack 3D and all that. Absolutely brilliant pump off it, but I was just in a fucking awful way, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, all them companies slag each other off anyway, so I mean, you just slag,
well, it's like
you're not going to get a subscription off them now.
No. But it's like supermarkets. I remember, like, you'd have like an Aldi advert, and you'd have like an Asda advert and a Morrison's advert, and they're all like doing comparisons. Now they all go in at each other. Like Aldi go, yeah, Morrison's just shit, we're 3p cheaper and all that. And you're like, it's a doggy dog world now out there. Even the supermarkets are having street fights.
I know. Thank God for that 3 pence. Would you be asked?
Exactly.
Would you be asked? And you know them adverts cost like millions of pounds just to say you're going to save 3p coming here. You could have saved $1 million by not.
Yeah, but then what you do is you go, okay, I'll save money, so I'll get some bits from there, then I'll drive down here, and then next minute the SO and BP are making more money. And is it all doing the same thing? You know what I mean? And we're all doing that. You know what I mean?
It's backward logic to me.
It is.
Like,
it is.
If something doesn't make sense to me, I'll question it or I won't do it. I'll be like, nah, you're right.
That's it.
Miss me with that bullshit.
So what's your plans now for the future? Moving forward, obviously with COVID and stuff, it's coming to an end until the next one.
Yeah, don't say that, because I tell you what, do you know if it happens, I'm off to, is it Sweden? They're not listening, and they're just back to normal.
They've banned it all, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, I'm off there, so if you want to go on, I'm going there. I don't think I'd survive another one mentally. I don't think I would.
Well, Florida's just put a ban, haven't they? They've said no to the vaccination passport.
Have they?
Yeah.
That's where I'm going now.
So we can fly, like,
because I got asked the question the day, would you get the vaccine to go on holiday? And I mean, as I said before, I've got no problem with anyone who gets it, but I'd rather just not go on holiday.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to pass soon, and then everyone will go, oh, well, and then them people, whoever they are, they'll be like, oh, well, we just have to do this precaution, blah blah blah, and a little bit. So, I don't know. That's where I'm at. But
fingers crossed we can go back to normal. But yeah, so
future. I'm probably still gonna be in one of the bars that we've got. We've got Ink 54. We've got a new one called Zen Liverpool. Which
54 didn't that come out last year? Didn't it open last year?
December 2019. It was December.
So you bouncing between the two, were you?
Well, it's owned by it's the same owners as Ink.
Yeah.
The majority of them are the same owners, so it's just like a sister venue. It's mad as well, because between the two clubs, we're all like a big family. We all live each other. I'm with them more than I ever was with any of me exes. So, and I don't really see my family as much, because obviously I'm not busy, but I live in town. But so I'll probably be still working for them. I've got a couple of little side projects going on. One with this blood test based nutrition, which is what's in here at the minute. So I'm testing it out at the minute before I jump in. But it's so far so good.
What is it?
Okay, so in here at the minute it's got fruit, blueberries, black grapes, and red grapefruit, and then it's got one of their oil, which has got 6,432 milligrams of raw fish oil in just 10 ml.
Right, okay.
Beta glucan, another one of their products. It's this gut pad. It's got beta glucan in, all these different things. So that's just two of the products in there with blends of fruit and water. And I've been on it for like maybe 10 days, and I do feel a completely different.
In what way?
More alert. I mean, I've had like 4 hours sleep because I was up. I was working, and then I was up on the laptop doing other bits. and I feel alive. I'm going to the gym soon. I can't wait. I'm just full of energy. I don't know. I'm going to give it the 2 weeks and see how I feel. But if it keep going like this, I'm going to join on with that and sort of
let us know how you get on with that.
Partner with that. It's so he said the fella came and he done this little device thing, blood test, and it sent off to Norway.
Yeah.
And the blood test came back, and you meant to have a ratio of 1:1. So for whatever omega 3, you meant to have omega 6 1.1 to match it. Up to 3.1. 3.1 is okay. So three.
That's sort of like balance your pH in your blood now.
It balances the whole everything. Okay. So mine came back 11.4/1, and I really healthy and clean, and so the blood test the blood test you. God, I can't even say that. They blood test you, and then they do it again after 120 days.
Right. Okay.
But they say you normally they feel the results after like 2 weeks to 4 weeks, based on like an average person. Because obviously I eat healthy anyway. I've sort of 10 days in. I do feel a little completely different.
Yeah.
Body, the way I'm not really.
What's it called?
From the gym. I'm not going to reveal it. I'm not going to reveal that. No,
right,
because I don't want to plug something that I might not be jumping into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I'll let you know.
Well, let me know how you get on.
I will let you
and then
know.
We'll do a little post on it.
1,000,000%. But yeah, aside from that, I'm just cracking on.
What, singing?
Well, I do want to get back in the studio.
You did a little post the other day. You tagged me in it.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
I mean, I've got the EP. It's still on iTunes and Spotify now, and it's still people hear it and they message me go, I didn't even know you were about that. And I'm like, music saved my life a few times.
Was the first one was Green
Eyed Soul?
Yeah.
And it's still doing the rounds. Like it's still all right. But I mean, because of me, I mean, I don't like saying my age because I always think the age is just a number. It's all in your head. But I just feel like now I'm probably more stage frighty. I'm more. I mean, you wouldn't think so. I do actually get really bad nerves, and I always did then. But now I feel because I'm sort of a perfectionist and I'm an overthinker. The pressure to be on more. Yeah. I do another album, but I'm more of a studio nerd. Like I like getting in there, doing all the different layers and harmonies, and I'm working on it that way. And because obviously I write my own stuff. I hate performing live. There's too much pressure on me because I want everything to be perfect, and nothing's ever perfect. Yeah. So
no, that's it, yeah.
But no, I'd like that. I would like to. There is a couple of things that I'm going to try and do this year, but I mean, we've just wasted a year. So
that's it.
And I'm not counting that birthday, by the way, either. So I should be 36 this year, and I'm just going to say I'm 35. I'm not counting that year.
And it begins.
What are you going to do? What are you doing?
Building the podcast, and I'm going to relaunch Right Flank, the clothing. Focus on that. But my biggest.
Did my hoodie get lost in the post? Did it? Yeah.
Fuck, I knew that was coming. But I had size large there, and the next minute you cut yourself in half. So.
I think I was pushing an extra large there. But yeah. So besides from that, just gonna crack on.
Focus on my family. The past year, I've been at home more, but my head hasn't. I've been focusing more on business and other stuff and the world, and rather than looking in, I've been looking out. You know what I mean? So I need to be looking in more and spend more time with family and focus on my daughter more. So that's my goals. But all your descriptions, everything, I'm going to put them all, even for your music, everything's going to go into the box. We'll get a post out. And
sick. I can't wait.
Craigie, it's been absolutely mega, mate. I'm so sorry it took so long to get you on as well.
Do you know what? I'm worth the wait, so it's all good. Yeah. No joking. It's been nice seeing you again. It's like because you've seen me then. When I was pleasantly plump, and then now it's sort of like it's nice to bridge them 2 times together.
Same person to me. But thank you very much.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Stuck in the past, you told me